late. My computer was not wanting to load on here, but I'm Tawny. I'm a double diamond. I've been doing this for 3 years. Whoa, why did I just do that? I don't know what just happened. Okay, so I joined from my stepdaughter's best friend posting on Facebook. Barely really knew her, but she was talking about making money, and at the time we really needed money. So I joined. I never used product, didn't know anything about the company, didn't know they had more besides the wraps. And when I joined about 2 or so weeks later, my upline quit. So I was kind of left to figure out my own thing. A few months later, Allie and I got in contact, and from there I have obviously gotten to where I am. I have 4 children, one of which is a teenage stepdaughter, and my husband works 3 jobs. My dad lives on our property. My brother works out of our property. And for a while there, I was also raising my 17-year-old sister. So there was a lot happening. When I joined, I had just the 3 kids and then found out I was unexpectedly pregnant. So that put a wrench in our plans. And in doing that, I needed to have a bigger car. Our car that we had was not going to hold our family. So I remember finding out I was pregnant, bawling because it was not what we wanted, telling my dad, telling my husband, and then calling Allie, who I barely knew, and was like, hi, so I need to tell you something. I'm pregnant, freaking out, and we need a bigger car. So can you help me with that? That's basically how the conversation went. And I worked to get my car bonus. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's 60 loyal customers and 3,000 in PV. So I pushed towards getting that. I did end up getting that and getting a van big enough to hold our family. I wanted to touch base on some of those things because I feel like you see some of us diamonds on here and you think that it just came easy to us. And it didn't. It took me 6 months to get my first distributor, and that distributor was signed by Allie. It took me 7 months to sign my own personal distributor. I got to diamond, and then all but about 2 people on my chart quit, and I've had to rebuild myself back up there. I believe the car bonus is still in existence. It's just not called that. It's called the loyal customer bonus, I believe. But it's still there. It's just called something. Yes. Now you're making me second guess myself, Kendra. It is still, right? Allie's answering. She's typing. She's not typing. I thought she was typing. It's still there. From what I'm getting told, it's still there. So 60 loyal customers, 3,000 in your personal volume, and you're going to get an additional $600 added to your paycheck on top of your monthly commissions, which is a really cool bonus to have. And something that for those of us either do not want to build a team or are struggling with getting distributors, there's a couple of reasons why you could be struggling for distributors. But if you want to go after a loyal customer bonus, that's an option. I was making over $1,000 a month before I even really got anywhere in this business because of that bonus. So it's a great option to have. But anyways, I wanted to touch base a little bit on that because, like I said, I feel like people don't understand that we struggle too. My first loyal customer was my husband's ex-fiance's twin sister. Not my mother, not my sister, not my aunts, not my grandma. In fact, my mom didn't become a loyal customer until June of last year. None of my aunts. I have one cousin that's a loyal customer, and she's actually became a distributor, Brandy. But that's really the only person in my family that has joined this business. My sister-in-law's joined and quit, both of them, one of which is doing another company now. So it has not been handed to me. It has not been something that I jumped in because I was a customer and loved the products. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know literally anything about this company, and I learned as I went. I did not wait to get customers until I had read all of the compensation plan or the policies and procedures and all the ingredients. In fact, I still have not read all the ingredients. Do not ask me because I will not read them. But I just wanted you guys to know that you're not alone in that. This is a constant struggle. I have suffered with anxiety and depression. I'm a normal person, like there's life that happens. A lot of life happens in my family on a regular basis. In fact, drama over the weekend again. So it's something that is always happening, and it's always a struggle for me. And this doesn't come easy for me. It's something that I work at every single day. But it's something that's worth working at every single day. So I don't want you to sit there and think that you haven't signed a distributor yet and you shouldn't do this, or you have a lot going on, so you just need to take a step back. Because trust me, I have every reason in the book to take a step back. And I won't do that. This family, or this company, this team family, has given me more than I could ever ask or anticipate. One of which being my best friend, who I would not have known had this company not come into my life. So if you're sitting there thinking or wondering if this is something that you should take a step back from, you should not. If you're sitting there thinking that you are not where you want to be yet, I'm glad you're on this Zoom, because we're going to figure out why that is. In fact, if you're really ballsy and you aren't sure why you're in this business or why you haven't quit yet, I would love for you to type that in the chat. I'm actually going to do something a little different. Disclaimer, I'm a pretty real person. Some of you may have seen my live videos. I will not sugarcoat things. It's not who I am. I'm very understanding and I'm very supportive, but I'm also going to be supportive in a way of maybe giving you advice that you may not like to hear. So that's just my disclaimer on it. I love you and I support you, and you will never find somebody that is in your corner more than I will be, whether you know me or not. So know that it comes from a place of complete love and wanting to see you succeed in this business, wanting to see you pass me at the top. So with that being said, I'm going to call people out. Some people will know me, some people will not know me, because there are definitely some new faces on here, and I'm just going to kind of ask some questions. If you are 100% uncomfortable with me asking them, you can pass. That's totally your call. It's not like mandatory for you to respond to me. But I just want us to kind of be able to bounce ideas off each other. I feel like I learn from talking to you guys and hearing your guys' story, or things that work for you or don't work for you. So I would definitely, I need to open the chat now that people are actually messaging on there. I definitely want to hear from you, and you guys are going to help me, and hopefully you guys will help each other. I feel like I learned the best through that. Crystal, you shouldn't have messaged on my team chat, because I'm probably coming to you first. Heads up. I got to catch up on the on these messages really quick. Kendra, girl, I love you. Oh, thanks, Kayla. Okay, Meg, thanks for letting me know. Danielle, you're not where you want to be. Not sure if it's something I'm good at. I'm struggling. Do you want to talk about it? Where are you? You were just on my screen, and now you're not on my screen. Where'd you go?
I'm here.
Okay. Hey, so
Hi.
what are you not sure that you're good at? Can you give me what?
Well, I've been a distributor a little bit over a year. I think my main problem is being consistent, and I know that's something that is my own issue. And I've always followed the group, and I always try to follow the leaders and see what everybody's posting. And I've gotten inspiration here and there. And more recently, I've been like, okay, I really need to do this. I've seen so much success in everybody, but I just, for some reason, I can't get myself to buckle down and do stuff. But I'm trying to change that. So I put a calendar up. I put a schedule out of all of our calls, our team Zooms, and what it is that I want to do every day, so that I can try to stay on track and be more consistent. But I still feel like I'm struggling. I don't get a lot of engagement on my posts. I don't get a lot of feedback when I message people. But I try not to let all that get to me and become like down on myself, or think that just to give up. I'm trying to get past that and continue doing it, because I think just because I am starting to be more consistent. It might just be me getting off of that platform, and hopefully I start to see results. But I have been struggling. It's been hard.
So first off, congrats for being in for a year and for having the balls to unmute yourself in front of all of these people and be real, because that's huge. With that being said, you are doing exactly everything that you could be doing at this point. With not being consistent in this business, especially for a year, and because, so I've been in for 3 years, and there's a lot of people that I've seen come and go, and kind of come and go, and come and go, and come and go. And that's harder, because the consistency in this is key, because people are wanting to know that you're taking this seriously. And they've seen so many people, if they're on social media, there's a good chance they've seen a few people join and quit this business within a few weeks. So it's going to be a little bit of a process for you. My biggest suggestion, I haven't looked at your Facebook, but I'm going to after this Zoom, is to make sure that you're real about that. I think that that's relatable. I think saying, hey, like, I've been in this business for a year, and hold on, my son just came in here. What? Okay, I will help you find your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Leonardo when I'm done, okay? Because look, mom's working. I'll be in just a minute, okay? Go tell Maddie to help you. In her room. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
So being real with the fact that, hey, like, life happened and it got the best of me, but I know that this business and this company is something that's going to help my family and help me. And I am still in this business, and I want to help you in this business. Just be real about it. I think that people relate to that. But I think you're doing great. I think being plugged in is going to be huge for your motivation, because the reality is you're not always going to be motivated. And that's why having that why is so important. Having that, you know, like, I have it written down. I have different visuals, because I think a lot of us have our why as our family, but when you can break down what that looks like today, my husband was gone all weekend, so he wasn't here for Mother's Day, but he had today off. So having him home all day long, and, you know, we went grocery shopping, and he mowed the yard, and the kids were home playing, and just seeing that visual to me was another reminder and a huge motivator to get my butt in gear and make him be able to come home more. And that's not a goal for him, but it's definitely a goal for me. So I really have to push harder, because I got to make him see that this is going to happen. But having those visuals. So if your family is your why, what is it exactly that you're wanting them to do? If you're wanting to go to Disneyland, or you're wanting to be able to buy summer clothes without blinking an eye, or, you know, whatever that is, if you're wanting to be able to, I don't know if you work, but come home from work, or whatever that is, having that visual, having that written down, or having a picture that reminds you of what you're doing, so that those moments when you're struggling with getting in work, you're able to see those, and it reminds you. Like, I have one that was hanging on my TV for a while, that was, there's no BV in TV, because watching the TV is not making me money. So I had that reminder, so that if it wasn't time with my husband, there was no reason for me to be sitting down watching TV, because I could be working this business. But being plugged in and being consistent is definitely what's going to be huge for you. Like I said, the fact that you're still here, you're still in this business, and you're on this Zoom, and you're wanting help and growth, just shows exactly how big you're going to be in this business. And I'm super pumped to watch you over the next few months, because I know it's going to be epic. So continue to do what you do, and continue to be plugged in, and continue to reach out if you feel like you are struggling, because that's what we're all here for. Every single one of us. We've all have been there, or are going to be there at some point in time. So you're not alone in that. And you should be proud of where you've come and what you're about to accomplish, because it's going to be huge. And I see Kendra nodding her head over there. So if you need to message anybody, Kendra Snyder will give you the serious motivation and heads up to continue this business, because that girl is a rock star and has been in your shoes. But awesome. I think you're doing amazing. So thank you for sharing this, because I seriously am. I'm just so pumped for you, because it's going to be huge.
Thank you. And I've been watching, actually I just recently started following you, and I've seen some of the videos that you were posting on the book that you're reading, and I think that actually started to get me more pumped up. So I'm like all excited. I'm like, okay, I got to do this. Oh,
thank you. That makes me feel good. Seriously, got me a little emotional there. Don't do that. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna go to Crystal. Sorry. Crystal is rocking hair dye in her hair right now. She's the definition of multitasking. So can you unmute yourself, Crystal? Okay.
Hi.
So I want you to share a little bit about your story, and why very little about your story, because I think you're going to be doing something else shortly too. So just a little bit of like how many kids you have and what you've experienced in the last few months and why you decided to finally join. Because funny story, Crystal joined underneath my cousin after I messaged her, and she basically told me that I need to go away because everybody's been hitting up her inbox and I'm annoying. So, and all of a sudden she joins my team with my cousin. So I want you, and she's a total freaking rock star. So I want you to share a little bit about what changed.
Okay, so I took in 3 extra kids, my nephews, so we have a total of 6 kids at home. It was really overwhelming. We have 1 income in our house. We have more money going out than we do coming in. So we needed a new vehicle. We have 2 unreliable vehicles, and I wanted to take over that car payment. That was what I wanted to do when I first joined. Now I'm dreaming bigger and I want more. I want to be able to buy a house. I want to have a second new car. Like, I want to have him home with me with the kids. I'm seeing big things, and that's what I want. I'm struggling with a few things myself, but knowing what I want in the future is pushing me to keep going. So it doesn't matter the obstacle. I'm also dealing with my dad who has cancer and facing that and taking that on. So I have 6 kids. I'm taking my dad 5 days a week to cancer appointments, and I'm still doing it. So if I can do it, you guys can definitely do this, because it's really about consistency, and I've learned that. And there are things that I can work on for myself, but I mean, it's growing and learning and working together as a team.
What is one thing that you realize you have to do for this business, or for you personally, to continue to work this business? Like, what is something that keeps pushing you?
Knowing that my daughter is going to be in high school next year and we don't own a home yet, I would like her to be in and a part of that home before she goes to college. That's a huge thing for me. And it's something that I want to be able to buy my kids their first car, help them with college, those kind of things that you just envision a better life for your kids.
So what made you go from your response to me to yes with Brandy? Because I think it's important, because I feel like people get told no and they're just like, oh, done. She's not ever going to join.
Right. I actually talked to Elizabeth about it too. So I had talked to you and her, and then went with Brandy. I didn't know you very well personally, but I knew Brandy a little bit more. So I was a little more comfortable with going with someone I knew personally. So I guess, can you guys still hear me? Because my screen froze.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. It was just frozen. So I guess it was just I was tired of where I was in my life, and I wanted to change, and I seen several people succeeding, and I wanted to be a part of it. If you can do it, I can do it kind of attitude.
I love that. I think that's huge, because I feel like people get so offended when somebody joins with somebody else. And the reality is you connect with different people, it's just how it is. But I love that. I'm sure a lot of people are probably not going to understand why I love this, but I think it's great that you did kind of talk to a few different people and you found the person that you were successful with. And here's the thing, guys, and I'm not saying this to toot my horn or Liz's, but I reached out to Crystal. So me reaching out to Crystal, she shot me down, except for that it put that bug in her ear. Mm-hmm. So whether she'd been messaged by 15 other people or not, she was interested in okay, gosh, for serious, just leave me alone. But if you really keep talking about this and all these people keep posting about it, what is it? So It keeps that interest in. Now, ideally, the point is to eventually get them to sign with you. However, it worked out for me in the end anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the point is that you're putting that bug in their ear. And I feel like when people message people and they get shot down, they instantly are just like, oh, well, that was a waste. No, that's the whole point. I never message somebody expecting a yes. Never, ever. Because to me, my job is to make them know who I am. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. And now you're going to watch me, because in a few weeks or a month or a year or 2 years, you're going to either join me as a customer or join me on my team because of that initial contact. I make that initial contact, and then you're going to watch me. And Crystal's prime example of that. Now, she joined with somebody that she's more comfortable with, which makes total sense. But the point is that she's a part of this company, and that's the goal, right? Because this company is all about helping people. And I don't care if she's on my team or on anybody's team, as long as she's a part of this company that's going to help her and help her family. That's all that matters. So again, I feel like, one, she's a no excuse person. She has 6 kids. She has a dad that she's taking to and from appointments. And I'm talking like Seattle and back, and surgeries, and her husband just had surgery, and all this stuff happening. And she posts consistently. I don't think that she's missed a Zoom. And if she has, it's maybe been like 1 or 2. She's always involved. She's always on the group chat encouraging people. Her posts are always encouraging and awesome. And she got all this stuff going on. So I'm over here like, oh my gosh, my 3 kids are driving me insane. And then I see Crystal's post and I'm like, okay, get over yourself, because she's doing it. I'm bitching about socks being folded and she's posting pictures of her laundry, and I should probably not be afraid, So like, I just want people to know that you can do this no matter what walk of life you're at. You can do this. And she's a prime example of that. So thank you, Crystal. And she's rocking her hair dye. She is not going to miss this Zoom. I want, does somebody want to talk? I'm not going to tell you what the next question is, but does somebody feeling like maybe they should talk? If not, I'm going to call somebody out. Okay, I'm going to go to, this is fun. They can't talk. I'm going to go to, gosh, there's a lot of people on here. Brittany, are you on? Can you talk? Unmute yourself if you can talk. Are you the only Brittany on here? Or are you guys like, which Brittany? Brittany Bryn, are you on here? Can you really talk to me?
Did you? Me?
Yes, you. I'm calling you out.
Oh, you can hear me. Sorry, I tried to turn off my Wi-Fi because this wasn't working earlier. So yeah. Okay, sorry, what?
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the biggest aha about yourself that you have found since joining this business?
Biggest aha would be that I can actually achieve what I want. Like everything before this, like dreaming of staying at home, not having to go to work, not have to worry about bills, like that just seemed like what it was, like a dream. Like there's no way I'm going to get a desk job, work 8 to 5 the rest of my life. But this business, since I've joined, has really made me see that anything is possible. Like literally anything. Like currently I am working towards being a stay-at-home mom, and I never ever thought I would ever do that in a million years. So yeah, I mean, you just got to do it.
I love that. Yes, congratulations. And your like announcement to that was the freaking cutest thing ever.
Thanks.
So for you work, do you work at Amazon? Is that where you work?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are pregnant, but have no other children. Why did you join this company?
I honestly joined because I wanted $50 extra a month to be able to do my nails every month. That is the only reason. And I wanted to keep up with the discount of getting my greens. That was really the only reason I joined. And I didn't actually see this as like a full-time gig until probably a little over a year ago, when I had the worst job when I lived in Seattle. I hated it. It was a nightmare. I missed my family. I wasn't allowed to go home to visit because of time off issues. And that's when I was finally like, okay, I need to push this further. Like I see everybody else working from home. Like, why can't I?
I love that. Okay. Thank you. You can mute yourself again. Esme, can you talk?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hi.
What has been your biggest obstacle in this business?
Probably no support.
No support, like family, spousal,
Spouse.
upline, or all of the above?
Probably spouse. My husband.
Okay. And how have you continued? You've been doing this for a while, so how have you continued through that?
I don't know. I just kind of ignore it. I've been trying to ignore it, and I just do what I wanted. Like, the only thing I have not done is go to events. I haven't been able to go to any events, but lately, well, I haven't really been working my business for like the last couple months. I just kind of hopped into the Zoom because I had nothing to do at that moment. And I saw that message and I was like, oh, I'm going to get on Zoom.
Really?
But I don't know. I don't really know. I have been, like before, I was just kind of ignoring it. I would post consistently, I'd message, follow up, but I just would have not been able to go to any events. And I think that's one of the reasons that's kind of like made me kind of like not want to work my business anymore, because I feel like if I can't go to events, I can't succeed.
Why do you feel that?
Because I always hear everybody saying, if you don't show up, you don't go up.
Okay. I'm glad you said that.
So that's one thing that's making me kind of want to quit. Like, well, I can't go, so I might as well not work it, you know?
I do know. And here's the deal. I'm glad that you came on this call, and there's obviously a reason for that. And I want you to know something. One, events are not something that you need to have to work your business. Do they help? Yes, of course they help. Will you leave that feeling inspired and motivated? Of course. But, and again, I hope that you somewhat can know the person that I am and know that this comes from a place of love. You not wanting to work this business because you can't get to events is a total excuse. And you're allowing it to hold you back from your dreams, and you can't do that anymore. Your husband not being supportive, I understand that completely. It wasn't until this year that my husband actually started helping me when it came to this business, as far as like with the kids and understanding that I'm going to go and be on a call or message some people while he watches the kids. He was never like mean against it, but he's a guy, and it was just kind of like, oh, that's a cool little hobby you got going on there, babe. Good job. And never really saw this as anything. But you don't need him to support you in this business. You don't need to be on events or at events. You need to be plugged into this team as much as you can be. And by being plugged into this team, you will get to events. Did you all see my daughter? Honey, what are you doing? He needs to find his Ninja Turtles. Go. Sorry, my husband just left on a fire. He's a volunteer captain. Anyways, so you don't need to be on those things. You are a rock star. I know you from Allie. She is beyond proud of you and excited from you. You have a huge support within your area. I know that you have Allie's 100% backing and support, and you were made for this business. So the fact that you're second guessing that makes me sad, because I know that you're capable of so much more than what you even can think of right now. And I have no doubt in my mind that you are going to be wildly successful and at the top of this company, because I can see it in you. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that you are in the right place at the right time. And you just have to keep pushing through. You never know how close you are until that breaking point. And I feel like this is it for you, girl, because there was a reason I kept seeing your name and I kept feeling that I needed to talk to you. And I am so glad that I did, because I want you to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you, and as much as this team believes in you, and as even half as much as Allie believes in you, because I know that you can do this. And it's not easy. And I'm not saying that it's something that you are just all of a sudden it's not going to hurt or it's not going to be a struggle anymore, because that's not what I'm saying. that I'm saying if you can push through that, it's going to be so worth it. And you've been doing that. So just keep going, because I know that you can do this. And the fact that you're on here is God telling you that this is it. This is it. This is what I want you to do. And all I need you from you is to trust me in this process. And I know that you can do that. Will your husband all of a sudden jump on board? I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that this team has your back. And I can tell you that all the 29 people on here are a text or message or phone call or post away from blowing you up with so much support you don't even know what to do with it. So when you're struggling and when you feel like you want to quit again and when you feel like you don't want to do this anymore, you need to make a post on the team page. You need to make sure that you're messaging me or you're messaging Allie, because you can do this. You can. There isn't a doubt about that. It's just a matter of if you're willing to stick it out. And I know that you are. And showing him is going to be what matters. So stick this out long enough until you get that comment in your paycheck and you're like, oh, hey, babe, how's it going? Because you did this without him. Mm-hmm. And you did this without having that behind your back, because this is what God has brought to your family and presented for you guys, and is what is going to make these dreams and what's going to help your family in ways that you can't even imagine yet. I was going to read some of these comments.
Yeah. I was like over here saying, don't call my name, don't call my name, don't call my name. And then I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like, I was about to message Allie one of these days and just kind of say, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
It's so weird. I'm like getting chills thinking about that.
So it was kind of weird also the question that I got, like, what's your obstacle?
So total God. That's God. Like, that's not me. Like, I didn't plan this out. I literally have like a list of a couple of questions just because I didn't want to just be sitting here staring at you guys. But I told Allie, I was like, I don't have any sort of like game plan for this. I'm just going to hop on and see who's on and go from there. And obviously it was because the people that I talked to needed to have this talk. And I'm glad that it was on here and we did that. And again, I want you to know that you can do this. Our time is about up. We have like 2 minutes left. But a couple of things that I was going to ask people, and if you want to just ask yourself, because it got me thinking when I did this, is why did you join? And a two-part to that is, do people know why you joined? What has been your biggest obstacle? Because it's probably an obstacle for your team. And have you made sure that they get the help that they need from that? The biggest aha about yourself, I think that's huge, because I'm not talking about paycheck or business or products. I'm talking about what you found out about yourself. And mine's similar to what Brittany said, is I can do this. I've never been good at anything besides having babies before, because if you can't tell, I make really cute kids. But beyond that, like, I'm not good at anything. And this company has given me something that's I'm good at. And that not only that, it's given me again, something outside of being a wife and a mom is this company. And I've been able to find out who I am and have an outlet for that. And that's huge. And I know there's lots of people out there that are wanting the same thing. So, have you shared what this company has done for you? Biggest aha about this company, like what you're actually capable within it. And I think kind of Brittany answered that in a two-part too, because not only has this helped her, but the company has also shown her that there's so much more out there. And just like, some of these people were saying, is there's so much more to this. There's so much more to what this company is. You start out for $50 for nails and it turns into, I want to do this, like, you start out not really sure why you're doing this, and all of a sudden you want to be able to buy a house, and this company is going to give you that. Like, that's huge. That's huge. But realize that people don't join to buy houses. They join for that $50 nail money. They join because they are already ordering products, so they might as well just see if they can make a few extra bucks with it. But people need to know that. What's your biggest obstacle, and why aren't you where you want to be? What's worked for you in this business, and is it still working? Don't lose sight of what was working and then you changed it and all of a sudden nothing's working. Go back to what's working. And if what was working isn't working anymore, start asking around. What's somebody else doing that's enrolling people? We have that boom list now. Go see who's added a few people to it. Ask them what they're doing. That's what we're all about. It's one team, one mission. So message those people and say, hey, how are you blowing up right now? Is there something that I could be doing differently? But anyways, we're about to end. So know that I am super proud of you all for being on this Zoom. That's huge. Thank you to those of you that I called out for being open and honest and willing to express that with all of us, because I know that's not necessarily easy, but that shows just how much you're going to grow in this business. And I am so excited for all of you. I hope you guys have a